you to think about that voice. And I want you to ask yourself as you're breathing, just keep breathing. I want you to ask yourself, what does that voice sound like? Not what is that voice saying, the words that it's using. I want you just to think about what does that voice sound like? Now, when you think about your inner voice, does it sound like your voice that you hear and have conversations with? Does it sound like the voice of a parent? Does it sound like somebody who bullied you when you were younger? What does that voice sound like? Who's dominating the conversation that's going on in your mind? And I just want you to sit with that for a few seconds. Just keep breathing. And you know what? It's time to change that voice. It's time to give yourself a new voice. So I want you to take in a breath. And as you let it out, you're releasing your current inner voice. Now, are you letting it go forever? No. You're just telling it, hey, it's time to take a back seat for a minute. And now I want you to replace this voice with the most ridiculous voice you've ever heard. It could be Gilbert Godfrey. It could be Fran Drescher, Mickey Mouse. I don't know what the most ridiculous voice you've ever heard is, but you know that voice. And I want you to imagine that's the voice that you're having conversations with now. How serious would some of those conversations you've been having be if that's who you were competing with in your conversation? Right? And when you're ready, you can go ahead and open your eyes. So who's your ridiculous voice?
There's only two came to mind. The first, only because I've been watching like stand-up comedy lately. There's this one guy, I think his name is like Uncle Laser or something like that. He's like this kind of, I don't want to put the term like redneck, but he's like a good like country boy, kind of like hardcore.
Gotcha.
And that got a little intense, just in a funny way. So I kind of switched to Mickey Mouse, and then it got funny. It got even more funny thinking of Mickey Mouse saying those things.
And so before you switch the voice, what'd your original voice sound like?
That was a good. It was. I don't think I've ever like intentfully kind of listened to it before. It sounded a little bit like me. Wasn't quite like me, but then I think it kind of you brought something up kind of from my deeper path of like a little bit of bullying that went on in middle school, and it kind of like actually like sitting there like listen. There's a tinge of him mixed with me in that mix of things, which is interesting.
And so, just imagine those things that you were hearing, because like I just asked you to focus on like what it sounded like, but as you were doing that, you're probably reliving conversations that you were having with that particular person or conversations you've had with yourself. And just imagine those conversations being now this person that was bullying you, now it's Mickey Mouse. Like, how real is that conversation? How true is that conversation? And it goes all the way back to like the idea of if I said, hey Scott, you know what, you're an asshole. Right? It's not, that doesn't mean it's true.
Yeah. Yeah, and kind of reframing it like that is no, that's cool. I'm gonna remember that like a tool. I've been trying to incorporate a little bit more meditation in the mornings, and and just kind of noticing of like when I'm thinking, not trying to focus on anything, but just kind of when thoughts come up. And I'm gonna try and maybe use some of that Mickey Mouse voice plug in there too with some of those things that come up and just remind myself about how silly it all could be, really.
And now you get to not only imagine Mickey Mouse, but you get to imagine Mickey Mouse morphed with the comedian.
That's right.
So
It's pretty damn funny.